I think the problem is we've got a lot of people who say they're members of the Venus Project or the Zeitgeist movement, but they don't do anything, and so it's difficult. Now there are ways to donate, and yes, people are showing it now. There is a way to donate on the Venus Project website, and if people just donated $1, I mean, how often do you spend $1 on something stupid that you don't need, or an ice cream, or a soda, or an overpriced soda, or whatever the case may be. I mean, we throw dollars away pretty regularly. So if we just committed that much alone, but you've also got to remember one of the things that we're doing. One of the things that we're doing is trying to do this movie, and so if we do the full-length feature film, that's going to bring about awareness to millions of people, all at the millions of people globally, if not tens of millions. And if it's done right, that will garner a significant amount of support, but it will also generate revenue. And the revenue from the movie would be used towards the city. So you understand how it kind of goes along this setup. And so that's kind of what the process is right now, is trying to make the contacts with the right people who can give us the connections to do these bigger advertising campaigns of like a film and things like that, in order to get money to do the things that you were talking about.
And the movement could be the advertising firm backing it up.
Right, exactly. And so Malak, is that where, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Malik or Malak, I forgot. I apologize, but did I answer you okay?
Malak, yes, you answered.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I mean, if you'll notice, my answers are not short, and they're not short on purpose because I like to give details and make people understand where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. In fact, you'll find almost nothing is a yes or no answer when it comes to changing the world. So, other than, do you want to do it? Yes. Okay. Well, there's a short answer, but the details are a little more meaty. Somebody asked, I saw in the type, how much you guys need for a movie. Excellent question. I cannot answer it. And the reason why you can't answer it is because you don't know how. It depends on what movie you're making. I mean, hypothetically, let's go for fun here. Let's say we get James Cameron, the guy who made Avatar. Somehow we find a way to get a hold of him to do a big movie based on the Venus Project, right? That's probably going to be $1 billion movie, or at least maybe not $1 billion, but maybe a couple of $100 million. To make something of that nature with quality actors and things like that. So, as a hypothetical, you're probably looking at a couple of $100 million. And you're going to hope that over the course of its release and rerun and DVDs and everything else, that it will make more. And so, and you'll end up, profiting on it and things like that. So, that's a hypothetical to just think about. But it depends on who you get, what level of production you're going to do. Things of that nature, what kind of actors you're going to get, whether or not you might get people who just love the idea so much who will do it for free just because they love what the message is. And that's possible. You never know. So we're still researching that right now. There is a group of people that are hot and heavy on trying to make that happen. Somebody else mentioned at $1 a month with 400,000 members, that's 4.8 million a year. Exactly. It's amazing how much that scales up, doesn't it? And so let's just look at another perverse set of numbers if we want to play with math a little bit. How many people watch Zeitgeist Addendum? Like 50 million or something like that, I want to say. Now let's say half of them hated it and the other half of them loved it, which is probably a good, because you got the debunkers and the bunkers and the schmucks and the people who will fall for anything and love everything and all that. So let's say you got half of that. Imagine if they just donated $1. If you had 25 million people donating $1, imagine what we could do to prove our case. And you're going to need money at some point anyway. So, we've got to try to figure out a way to make everything happen properly. But it really involves getting in a more involved group of people who support the movement, not just in name only, but actually, as cliche as it sounds, putting their money where their mouths are. If they really believe in the vision of the Venus Project, at some point, we're going to have to get a buck or two out of the masses to buy what we need to get to prove our point. And then once we prove it, we say, now you don't need money to do this. You can do this by just using the resources that you have available as a nation, or whatever the case may be. And then we can start getting nations to come over.
Doug, I want to ask you, do any of the engineers that were featured in your film, are they aware of the Venus Project or the Zeitgeist movement?
The first one I can think of off the top of my head that is aware is the guy from the Omega Garden facility, the rotating hydroponic gardens. I've actually personally talked to him, and he is aware of the Venus Project. Most of those other videos, no. Those are, I quite literally ripped them off of YouTube and put that thing together. I mean, what I did with our technical reality is what anybody could do if they took a day and just did some research and watched some random videos. It just so happens that I grabbed them, ripped them, converted them, and put them into one movie form. It's a little bit easier for people to get to. But everything that was there is on YouTube. Every single one of those videos can be found on YouTube. But the only guy that I know of specifically is Ted from Omega Garden. The rest of them, I've never had personal contact, so I really don't know if they do or not.
I guess just to piggyback off that, how was the reception from Ted? Like, how did he feel about it? Did he get the opportunity to maybe see the movies or read a little more on the website, or?
Well, he's I don't know. I mean, he's a struggling businessman. He's trying to do what he can, to provide food for the masses. But he also understands that abundance equals squat for market share. They're against each other, and we all know how that works. If you provide abundance, you automatically destroy the monetary value of something. It has intrinsic value, but it has no market value anymore. And so he's kind of in this funny position where he likes what we're doing and what we're all about, and he knows all about the Venus Project and everything. And I'm pretty sure that and I've already talked to him about, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm currently blueprinting and designing a full-scale automated hydroponic farm facility that will feed about 1,000 people. It's kind of a small-scale version, a scale model, if you will. And I'm going through him to get the stuff that I need, and he's going to give me a price break and everything else on all that as much as he possibly can, at least so he doesn't lose out on it. I don't want to hurt the guy. So we're just going to have to figure out a way to make that happen. So he is aware, and he wants to help in every way he can. Now, I would venture to guess, and this is just a hypothetical, but I would venture to guess that if we did build a research center or a city, he would probably uproot himself and move and live in that city to help provide all the technical expertise to keep the hydroponic buildings going all the time. He just strikes me as the kind of guy that might actually do that if we had a city in place that he could relocate himself and his family to and basically just live there and not have to worry about money anymore. I think we're going to find a lot of technical people once we build the city, or once we start setting up the construction of it. They're going to want to uproot themselves and move into the city. You're going to kind of limit yourself as far as traveling the world because you're not going to have any money anymore. But you can still live in that city system relatively comfortably. I mean, if we really look at it, most people don't move around that much or travel as much as they would like. And if we can build one city and then we can build another city, then there could be travel between those two cities. We could come up with ways to make that happen. So because it's no money to no money, so that works. But it be kind of difficult to go from a no money city back into the quote unquote real world, because what are you going to pay for? But that's something that'll have to come out in the wash as we start getting further down the planning cycle.
Hey, Doug, actually, again, to kind of piggyback off that, myself, I'm a bioenvironmental engineer at Rutgers University. And, well, I'm not an engineer yet, but I'm studying that as my major. And the next year will actually be my final year. I'll be a super senior, so to speak. And I'll be planning on doing a very large senior design project, basically like a capstone that, highlights all the knowledge I've gained over the last 4 or 5 years. And one of my ideas is I have 3 actually. One would be